Hello Limehousers, welcome to the first video of this Rome project on Patreon, and thank you so much for being a patron of mine. Of course, also Giant Steppers, also welcome. And today we're going to continue with what I started in episode 1. If you haven't watched episode 1, please maybe watch that first. I will put a link in the description, and let's continue. So I have another document with some really nice Django phrases from the Rome project. And I think I have like 6 or something. So let's get started. This is the first major phrase for major chord. Sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. A little bit faster. 1, 2, 3. Some details. It starts after beat 3, but of course that is just how Django played it on the recording. But this phrase you can really play starting almost on any offbeat. After the 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Or after the 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Of course, it depends a little bit on how the song goes, and it's a pretty long phrase, so you might be able to play the whole thing or just a portion of it. I like to play a double downstroke when I get to the third bar. So with the B before it's also down, and so down, down. So I can play the triplet down, up. If you want to do down, up, you can do. That's a kind of a different effect. It's more like a trill, and if you play double downstrokes, I think it's more swinging. I decided now to demonstrate it today on Honeysuckle Rose. That backing track is also on my YouTube channel. I will put a link in the description. So on Honeysuckle Rose, of course, is in F. So then the lick is here. Right, it's from the first position on the A string in F. So let me play that on Honeysuckle Rose. It's 4 bars of C7 and then it's F, 4 bars of F, so I can play it there. And I'll start anywhere, right? I could start when the F hits, or I could start before, like it's in the tab, or whatever. Two, 5, 1 to B flat. Nice phrase. Next one. Okay, yeah, this one you might recognize from my rhythm changes project. It's pretty similar to one of the phrases there, but the ending is different, and I don't do that often, but I actually put the lick twice with starting on different string sets. I'm usually not a big fan of you playing the same thing on different strings, especially when it's a long thing like this, because usually you're gonna do one or the other anyway. So you're practicing probably the less comfortable fingering for really nothing. But in this case, I noticed that this one is very handy to be able to play on different string sets. So first I'm playing it starting on the high E string, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. Yeah, that's it. 3, 4. And then I have the same thing starting on the B string, and then it goes like this: 3, 4. It's actually very different. The fingerings are very different. So if I have to play it in F, I can, and that's why I like it on different strings, because now I can play it low. Or high. So let me play that on Hemert System. I think it's a very versatile, very ear-pleasing phrase. Okay, this one is, of course, a famous one. And it's written down here in 16th, because that's how Django plays it. But you can play this one in 8th notes as well. Let me first play it for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me do it slower. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. So let's talk a little bit about the fingering, because of course you could play this with every note fingered like this. And I've seen people do it, but of course Django was playing with 2 fingers, but also many of the Dutch gypsies played where you slide notes like this. Maybe start fingering like this, but now you get this 3, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. It just feels very comfortable because the fingering stays very consistent. You could actually start like that even, like. And as long as you play your right hand very even, and then you just time your left hand on the right hand, then it will actually sound like you're playing every note with a different finger. I would recommend practicing it like that. So you can play it in 8th notes too, of course, swinging. 3, 4. But then it takes a long time. Let me play it a little bit on Hemert System. Of course, then we have to play it here. Or in 6th notes. Yeah, I really need new strings because it's getting very out of tune. Okay, good phrase. It's not that easy actually. You have to really practice your um, syncing your hands up. I'm searching for another word. Gotta practice your motor skills or something. Like your hands have to be really in sync. But it's a really fun one, and it's also a great lick for rhythm changes, right? If you just have rhythm changes in C, you can fill lots of time with it, especially when you start playing it in eighth notes. Okay, here we have our minor lick for today, and it's on D minor. It sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. It's not very comfortable to play because of the string skips. I would focus on the last two being there's no string skip, so you can really sweep. Now, of course, you could get this very similar effect if you would just play normal arpeggio, D minor arpeggio, something like so like this arpeggio. So just play everything adjacent to each other, no string skips. So practice that too, but the Django version is, of course, a little bit more special with the string skips. So on categorize, I can probably play that in the first 4 bars because it's C7 G minor. I could play. Let me try that a little bit. D minor. So in the 2-5-1, I could play it on C minor, right? Or the 5-1. It's F7. F7 and C minor are very much the same kind of harmonic expression if you're in F, and G minor, C7, and then it's G7, but then it's the same as D minor, right? They are very related. So when it's G7 in the bridge, I can play it on D minor. And on C7 on G minor. And on F7 on C minor. The string skips make it pretty difficult. But even if you missed a note, it's still just a very pretty phrase, I think. Dominant lick, a very easy one. Sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. For maximum effect, you should put some vibrato on the E there. Pretty difficult to do that this low on the guitar. What you could also do alternatively is not play the E like this, but you could bend it. Right, both possibilities are great. So either play on the 5th fret without bend, or you bend up the 4th fret half step. So let me play that on categorize, and then we'll play it on C7. And the bridge I can play it on F7 and on G7. Okay, let me play that. know, maybe it wasn't ever in the screen. Let me show it once. There it is. But of course, you can download the tabs. There it is. Okay, let's go on. This one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's on G7, so on C7 would be, right, because it's in the 5th position of C7, right? It's the 5th position. That's my Van Hemert fretboard system. There's always a link to that in the description if you don't know what I'm talking about. On F7, on G7. Okay, here we go. Okay, forgot to play the phrase again. F7. More time. Of course, the rhythms, you can be free with the rhythms, but it is nice. The quarter triplet to play that is nice effect. That's actually why I thought this phrase was interesting. And this is the last one. This is a really bluesy one. And it says G7 to C, but it's actually just a blues phrase in C. Sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. And it's not, actually you cannot really play it on a 2-5 if you haven't established the key yet, because it's so bluesy. So right, I wouldn't play this on the bridge of Hanzuka Rose because we're going to B flat, but it's so short that if I start playing this in B flat, it will sound strange. But I can play it, of course, on the A part because we're establishing F there. So I can pretty much play this as a 2-5-1 to F or on F itself. Of course, you don't have to play the chord at the end, but I will for demonstration purposes. There you go. A couple of nice phrases again. Oh, sorry. A couple of nice phrases. Of course, we're just starting with the series, but now it's starting to build, and I'm working on it every day myself. And I'm showing you what I worked on today and yesterday, right? So I haven't finished this PDF by a long shot, but I've worked through, I think, about 3-4 songs of the Rome project. So there's lots to go. Of course, at one point the phrases will start repeating, or they're very similar, so I won't include them. But for now, lots of new stuff, very exciting stuff. I hear Django play that I want to put in this document. Again, thank you so much for being my patron, and I will see you in part 3, which will be another free video on YouTube, and part 4 will be, again, especially for you. So until then, have a nice time with these phrases. Bye!